Hello, this video is going to be on two different sections, 8.5 and 8.6. They go hand in hand together. One just kind of builds off of the other. But we're going to be talking about factoring quadratic expressions. We're going to take an expression that's written in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c and factor it out into two binomials. So x plus some number times x plus or minus some other number. So think of it as like the multiplication problems we were doing earlier where we were either foiling or using the box method. Factoring is known as the opposite of FOIL. And every teacher kind of does this a little bit differently, but here is my method on how you can factor each and every single time, no matter what happens with the number in front, any signs in the middle, or any signs at the end. So the very first thing is that when you have it written in standard form, your x squared term is first, your x squared is second, and your number is last. In the example I'm going to be going through is 5x squared plus 11x plus 2. The very first step you need to do is to multiply the outside numbers together. And when you do that, in this example, you multiply 5 times 2 to get the number 10. Then whatever number you get from there, whatever number you get from the first step, find the entire factors of that number. So all the factors of 1 and 10 are 1 times 10, 2 times 5, and then we can even multiply two negative numbers together to equal a positive, and that's -1, -10, -2, and -5. So just because a number is positive or negative, sometimes it may have positive and negative factors, and these are all of the factors of the positive number 10. Then the third thing you need to do is to find the sum of all of your factors. So all four pairs that we found here, 1, 10, 2, 5, -1, -10, etc., we just need to add those numbers up and find the sum of them. So 1 plus 10 is equal to 11, 2 plus 5 is equal to 7, 1 and -10 is -11, and -2, -5 is -7. Now after we've found all those sums, we need to choose the factors whose sum matches the middle number or matches your B term. So our first sum is 11, and that matches up with this 11 term, so we're going to be using the factors 1 and 10 and to be splitting up our middle number, and that's going on to the next step, is to split the middle number or the middle term, because we're going to be including our x, into the two factors chosen. So that's going to be 11x is now going to become 1x plus 10x, or just x plus 10x, and then I'm going to bring down my outside numbers, 5x squared and 2 down here. So all I've done so far to change my equation or my expression is splitting up the middle term into the factors that add up to equal 10. Then next, after you split that up, is you need to factor them by grouping or include parentheses around the groups. So since there's 4 terms, I'm going to want to group them into two binomials that are being added. So the first two, 5x squared plus x, is one group or parentheses or binomial, and then 10x plus 2 is the second one. Then after you've grouped them up, you need to factor out the greatest common factor from each term, and that's again the largest number or expression or entire term that is in common between both of them that can be factored out. In this example, there is an x in common with both of these factors, so that's what I'm going to factor out. And what's left over is a 5x plus 1. And then my greatest common factor from here is a 2, since 2 is a factor of 10 and 2 is a factor of 2. That's the largest number in common. And then I'm left with a 5x plus 1. When you get to step number 7, when you get to here, what you should notice is that each of the terms in your parentheses are going to be the exact same thing. That's known as your term, because then when we get down to the last step, you combine like terms. Just like whenever we add, let's say adding 4x plus 3x, x is our common term, so when we add them together, it's equal to 7x. You add the numbers in front and you keep your common term. It's exactly the same thing when factoring quadratic expressions. Our term is 5x plus 1, so that's going to be in our answer. And the only thing we do is we add the numbers in front. X plus 2, those can't be combined, so we just rewrite it as x plus 2. And these are the factors of the quadratic expression 5x squared plus 11x plus 2. So I would write down your notes these list of 8 steps. I'm also going to include a link in a school loop locker that you can find that's going to be a little bit similar to this. But again, these are the steps you're going to be following no matter what is happening between each quadratic expression. You're just going to know to go from one step to the next and follow each of them in order, and you'll be able to find the factors. All right, thank you very much.